Now that we've established our basic understanding of an informal letter and we know what structure to follow, let's talk about the first and the last paragraph, namely the introduction of your informal letter and the conclusion of your informal letter. What information has to be provided within these paragraphs to make sure that you begin and you end your informal letter the way you are required to? Let's begin with the introduction. What you need to understand is the introduction is how you are setting a foundation. It's like the grayscale or the structure of a house. It has to be strong. It has to set the tone and the intention for the examiner and for the recipient of the letter. So what you're required to do for the introduction is that you're supposed to set your intentions straight. But before you do that, there are two things that you're allowed to do in an informal letter that I told you explicitly not to do in the formal letter. You are allowed to provide pleasantries. What I mean when I say that is, this is the place where you can ask the recipient how they are, you can inquire after their health and their family's health. But that does not mean that you spend 100 words just talking about that. Short and crisp sentences are more than enough. Once you've done that, the second thing that you're allowed to do in an informal letter is that you're not supposed to introduce who you are. Remember, you're writing to somebody that you know. This is not a formal letter. You are probably already on first name basis with this individual. So providing your name and telling them who you are and where you're from, that might be considered unnecessary information by the O-levels examiner. Once you've established that, you need to tell them what the intention of the letter is. For example, in O-levels, a lot of the times the questions include things like write a letter to your sibling asking for advice, write a letter to your grandparent asking for financial or monetary help, and other similar topics like that. If you have a topic like that, you're supposed to set your intention straight within the introduction. Once that's been established, we move on to the conclusion, which is the last paragraph of your letter. Now, a lot of the times what students get completely confused about is, do we rewrite everything that we've already rewritten in the body paragraph? That's not the case. Like I said, if your introduction is the foundation, if it is the grayscale of the house, the conclusion is the final house. It is a nice wrapping up of everything that you've already done in the body paragraph. So you reiterate your ideas, but you don't repeat them. What I mean when I say that is, you're supposed to provide a very neat, short, and crisp summary of what you've already said. Apart from that, if let's say it's a letter seeking advice, you can thank them in anticipation. You are allowed to even express eagerness, waiting their reply. These are all also considered pleasantries, just like the ones in the introduction, and they very seamlessly bring the entire letter together. Once you've concluded your letter as well, you provide your signature on the left-hand side of the paper, which, like I've said in the previous videos as well, can be with regards, best regards, yours sincerely, followed by your name underneath. Once you've done that, you will see a very neat looking letter on a piece of paper that even the examiner might be thrilled to read.